We're with athskansas.org. We're here with Dave Radebaugh at the May 8th, 2010 Wheat State ATHS chapter show in El Dorado, Kansas, at the Kansas Oil and the Butler County Oil and Gas Museum. And he's brought a couple trucks here today, and I'll let him take over and tell you about them.
Well, I brought a truck I just bought a month ago from the state of Washington. It's a 44 Kenworth fire truck called a 750P, and she runs just fine, just has 26,000 miles on it, a big Buda gas engine in it, and the siren works and the lights work, so that's all you need in a fire truck. That's all that counts.
Okay.
Let's go here.
All right.
Also,
and I'll back up so I can get more of it in the shot. There we go.
Also brought a 44 GMC Deuce and a half that's been converted to a winch truck with gin poles. A fellow moved houses around here in El Dorado for years, and I bought it from him. It's got the original engine, 270 GMC 6 volts. Starts in the worst of weather. I use it whenever I can. We drag stuff around, pull trees out of the river, and do things like that. It's a useful old truck. Great truck.
Well, I've always been fascinated here on these old GMCs on how they work the twin screw rear end with two drive shafts coming out of the transfer case, rather than, see if I can get a shot of that, rather than having the well, is this maybe that one? No, okay, yeah, this one does have the two.
Yeah, this is.
I don't know if everybody can get a. There we go. See, if most twin screw rear ends, you have drive shaft go into the front differential and then comes out of the back of that differential and goes on to the second one. In this case, where you have a four-wheel drive set up and a transfer case, what we have is you can see there or not, you have two drive shafts coming out of the rear of the transfer case. One goes to one rear end and one goes to the other. Maybe see a better shot of it. Oops. So there's the drive. There's the drive shaft comes out of the bottom end of the front of the rear of the transfer case, and you can see a little bit there. You see there's two U-joints there, and then out of the bottom and the front of the transfer case goes to the front axle. There's the first one going in, and the second one that you can see there goes over top through another bearing and then on to the second differential. Alright, sorry to interrupt you there, but I just thought that was that's my little still camera.
This is Merrill Green's M211 that we restored last year. We bought two trucks, and one of them had been T-boned by a railroad train, but it had a decent engine which went in this, and we rebuilt all this, and then he painted it. It's a good truck. And the unusual thing about these 211s is they're automatic. It's an automatic transmission, and it's indestructible.
Is that an Allison, or it's like a precursor of an Allison, or?
It's basically a Power Glide
Ah,
in there, but they're really indestructible. It's a great old truck.
another 270, or?
That's a 302, I believe, but it's basically the same 6-cylinder GMC engine that's in that deuce and a half.
Right.
That's in this thing, and also in that GMC. That's a 360.
And what year is this one?
That's a 49.
49.
Well, you sure done a nice job on it.
Yeah.
Got everything in there.
I haven't seen one of those for a long time, especially in that kind of shape.
Everything in here but the windows.
Yeah.
This was the body off. Built the bumper, rewired it. Didn't do a lot to the engine except weld the manifold and recore the radiator. Basically, good running truck. Built the gas tanks ourselves out of a
Doors need to line.
sheet aluminum. Redid all the brakes.
920 tires. Don't see that much anymore, do you?
Had to replace the hydro back there. And put new exhaust. And interior is just about done. As soon as I get the glass in, she'll be done. That's it.
All right.
You've done this Mack before.
Right.
Mack
right.
is up here, but this is the same one I had at Newton last year, and she's a real reliable truck. This was a frame-off restoration as well. In fact, a frame-apart restoration. We had to take the frame apart because one of the outer member on the frame was rusted and rotten, so we pulled that off. Rebuilt all that. Great truck.
So you must have had a lot of help to get them all here today.
We had a lot of help. We made a lot of trips back and forth. And we'll be making a lot more. You can imagine what driving that thing is into the wind without a windshield.
Right, right.
We're home before the bugs come out tonight, huh?
Yeah.
You live close by here, do you?
5 miles south.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I remember when you used to see a lot of these on the road, but you never see one anymore.
No, you don't see them anymore.
There's one they've got in the yard at Southwest Truck in Pratt. It's got gin poles on it. I think they use it. All right, well, thanks. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. I'll start it up.
All right.
See the inside, Ralph?